Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome to Subway Sports Talk. My name is Peter Kennedy, and I am your host. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning into SST. I have a podcast app, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you're watching the podcast or listening to the podcast. We appreciate you the same. Joining me now to talk baseball. It's been a little bit too long, and things have been happening in the world of New York baseball. Nothing jumps out in particular, not like anything record-breaking or, nothing like that. Nothing's been that serious, I guess. But Andrew Calagna is here to talk about some stuff. Andrew, what's up, my guy?
I'm doing great, man. I'm ready to break down the number one sports story in New York right now. So there's actually a pretty big controversy right now that not a lot of people are talking about. The New York Rangers opened up camp on Sunday. So you know how people do at the beginning of school, where the kids have the signs up and says, my name's Jack, and I'm going to preschool, and my teacher's name is this. So they did that with the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, my name is Mika Zibanejad. My number is this. I've been in the league for X years, and my best friend on the team is, and people are writing down all the team names. So Mika Zibanejad put Chris Kreider put Mika Zibanejad. But the controversy here is Keandre Miller, one of their young star defensemen. He put Alexis Lafreniere, who, again, former number one overall draft pick by the Rangers. Alexis Lafreniere did not put Keandre Miller as his friend. Yeah, it's a big controversy. He put another defenseman, which is it was a big stir up on Rangers Twitter, and I'm ready to break it all down, see what it all means for the team chemistry going into the year, see if they can Rangers can make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, where do you get your thoughts on that?
This is my thoughts on that. Every defender should have put Shesterkin, and Shesterkin should have put all my defenders are my best friends. It's like a quarterback offensive line situation where the quarterback always buys the nice gifts for the O lineman, and they take care of him, protect him. That's what they need too. Shesterkin should be everybody's best friend, making up for all their mistakes, all their shortcomings, and he should say, "Yeah, I love every defenseman equally, and they all help me look so good." That should have been.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I got to take on everything, Andrew. I'm ready to get takes off.
I can't throw you curveballs anymore, man. You're ready for them.
Well, I learned who Shesterkin was last year, so I don't know if I'll give any credit. I do want to shout out this shirt that I'm wearing. If you're watching on YouTube, pretty fire shirt right here. Trying to get it out of the microphone. Crash Team Racing. If you're familiar with this, one of the greater games of the PlayStation era. Found this shirt, TJ Maxx, $7.99. How could I not, Drew? How could I not?
Fantastic. I mean, Crash Racing, obviously second to Mario Kart, but still solid for the PlayStation 1.
Not everybody had a Nintendo 64, not everybody did. And some people had to settle for Crash Team Racing. And I wouldn't call it much of a settle. I would call it a wonderful experience had by all. That's what I would call it. But anyway, let's get to baseball. Let's start talking about baseball. And obviously I made the joke beforehand about nothing record-breaking going on, nothing crazy, not like anything specific's happening. Of course there's something specific happening. Of course there's something record-breaking happening. And it happened just 2 nights ago now by the time this podcast came out. Aaron Judge, 61st home run. Drew, you might have been doing some mental gymnastics. You might have been trying to do some reverse psychology, some mental hedging, but you did not think, these are your words, you did not think Aaron Judge was going to get to 61 after a week or so of being stuck on number 60, and then he did it. He finally hit that rocket. It went into the bullpen, and that man literally dropped the bag when he dropped that ball. And history was made, 61 for Aaron Judge. How were you feeling watching that game the other night, and now that he's tied with old Roger Maris?
And I would have went over the fence for that. If that was me, I'm going that 15-foot drop. If I break an arm, that's worth a 6-figure baseball to me. Like I'll someone crack my leg right now for 6 figures. Easy. That's easy money. But I honestly didn't think he was going to do, because the way that opposing pitchers are throwing to him, they're not, they're throwing maybe one pitch for him to hit in that bat, and Judge is he's either late because he was, obviously he's pressing a little bit because he's really a team player, so he's kind of good in the same vein as the Jeter doc. I don't know if you watched that, Pete, but Jeter was like, when he was going for 3,000 hits, it took him a little while to get to it because he wasn't used to, when it's about the team, he said he felt good, but when the spotlight was on him as an individual and his individual stats, that's when he kind of started pressing. So I assume it was kind of like the same vein with Judge. And, he was very content to take his walks when pitchers weren't giving anything. He wasn't expanding the zone. So that's why, honestly, I didn't think he was going to get it. But, the pitcher, honestly, made a mistake and left a hanging breaking ball in there, and he launched it. So, it's very exciting. I've seen a lot of contrary takes on Twitter about, like, congratulations on Aaron Judge being, like, having the 7th most home runs in a single season. I'm just like, just, like, drink some water, man. If you have that much salt, you're gonna have kidney stones, and like, take it easy. Let people enjoy things, okay?
Yeah, if you wanted to really go contrarian, the only thing that has any validity is he didn't break the record yet. He tied the record, right? Like, that is something that is tangible, makes sense, and there's no steroids involved. So it's like, okay, like, yeah, he tied the record. Great. Right? I'm clapping. Break the record, right? That's the only contrarian take that has any validity to me, right?
Yeah.
This whole thing with Bonds and McGuire and Sosa a couple times there, I get it. Like, amazing seasons. They are fantastic hitters. I think they should all be in the Hall of Fame. Whatever. We're not going to discuss that here. But if you want to say that Aaron Judge is 7th, like, let's just be honest here, right? It's such a different thing. It's not that. Everybody who's doing that is trying to get a rise. They're trying to get clicks. They're trying to get retweets, trying to get some juice flowing up in the comments there with Yankee fans coming in all mad. And every time a Yankee fan comes in mad on one of those comments, that
doing what you want.
Yeah, they just won again. So it's stupid. I like to make the jokes to Alec and you just to make fun of it. I said, oh, congrats. Maybe he'll break the record this season too. But I'm just joking. Like, incredible season by Aaron Judge. On top of the home runs, what a testament to that man as a disciplined hitter in the world of baseball. He easily could have been swinging out of his shoes, swinging at bad pitches to keep at-bats alive. And no, he didn't do it. He took his hits. He took his walks. It was incredible, honestly. And that shows how much of a complete hitter he is and why he is in line possibly for a triple crown. I mean, it's unbelievable that these two things are coming together combined here. And there's not much to say other than just tipping your cap and saying, wow, this is truly one of the best seasons in MLB history. And that's it. That should be the only thing talked about in that regard. If you want to say, oh, he didn't break the home run record yet. Well, guess what? Roger Maris didn't bat that high and win the triple crown possibly. So let's everyone slow their roll and appreciate Aaron Judge's greatness.
Yeah, and to kind of put it into perspective and some added context to this conversation, the amount of people who hit 60 home runs in a season from 1927 to 1997, two people. Then from 1998 to 2002, 6 people hit 60 home runs. From 2002 to 2022, one guy, Aaron Judge. That's it. Only guy to hit 60 home runs since 2002. So exactly. So you might want to, you're not going to say, oh, it's not 70 home runs, it's not the record, but this is still an absolute incredible achievement by, and we saw it from him when he came up as a rookie. He hit 52 home runs as a rookie. This is the absolute peak of who Aaron Judge is as a baseball player. I don't want to put the cart too far ahead of the horse and start talking about his free agency. I just wanted to enjoy the moment and the special player and the special season that he has, because I don't think this is something that, it's going to be very hard to see again without some kind of, something else going on in the background for baseball. So, everyone should really be, not just Yankee fans, but baseball fans everywhere should be just soaking in this really special moment and this special time.
And then next year, Aaron Judge and his teammate Pete Alonso can combine for 110 home runs and break the record for 2 teammates to ever do the most. Does that sound right?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just had to say something there. I had to do something mean for one second. But let's talk about the Yankees, because as great as it's been to watch this Judge chase of the record, which he's still on, obviously, it has been really good to watch the Yankees play baseball. I mean, they've only lost 1 game in the past, 13? So they're 12. Is that right? No, my math is wrong there. 1 in the last 10, I think. And that's awesome that they're playing so good right now. Yeah, they played the Pirates, They swept the Red Sox 4. They beat the Blue Jays 2 out of 3. They're playing good baseball right now, and there's a reason to feel that excitement that the Yankee fans felt earlier in the year, and there's a reason to now go into the playoffs with some confidence. And through all that turmoil where they were not playing Yankee standard baseball and losing more games than they should have, it was easy to say, this is bad. It's going downhill. We're not going to be a true World Series contender. But now, Drew, I imagine you have to be feeling on the flip side of that again, back to World Series contender status. So what is the general vibe and health of this team now heading on the very final stretch going into the playoffs?
They're on the offensive side. That seems to be, some guys starting to pick it up. Harrison Bader has been a surprising addition from him coming back. I wasn't really expecting much from him offensively, but he's been kind of a spark plug towards the bottom third of the order. And Gleyber Torres has really picked it up. He had one of the worst Augusts in all of baseball. I think his WRC plus was like 24, like not 124, just 24. So that's 76% worse than a league average or a replacement level hitter. So that's how bad he was. But he seemed to turn around, and he's back to his first half self. So that's a really big addition. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton's not looking well at all, but that he can kind of turn it on. Especially the last two playoffs, he's been red hot. So I'm not too worried about him. What I will say is the bullpen is a lot more shaky than I'm accustomed to it being as a Yankees fan. So, they don't really have a set closer right now. Clay Holmes, he, after one of the best first halves in, for any reliever, he just kind of lost his control or the ability to locate the ball. So you're not really too sure which version of him you're going to get out on night in and night out basis. Mechanics are good, then he's the dominant Clay Holmes. If it's not, then he's going to walk the ballpark and then give up hard hits. Chapman, there's been, echoes of him being designated for assignment, which I don't really buy, especially with like a week and a half left in the season. He can't really help anybody else on a playoff roster because that cutoff was beginning of September. And, there still might be an instance where he could maybe not be closing, but be able to get you decent outs in like fifth, sixth, seventh inning of the playoffs. So, and there's not really anyone really to replace him. It's either who's the guy they trade for the Castro, who's coming back, or Albert Abreu. So like those aren't really better options than what Chapman can give you. So Efros is back. He looked pretty good. Trevino's looked pretty good. But again, there's not really that dominant closer at the end of the game, which Yankee fans are very used to having now. So out of offense and pitching, I would say the relievers are really my biggest concern for the last week and a half. So I hope that Boone can get guys in there. Maybe they can straighten them out, and hopefully they'll get them ready for postseason ball.
And Chapman's looked a little bit better, like you just explained. Yeah. There. And he's a guy with experience. So that is something that you do want. There's no point to get rid of him. I mean, it's not like you have some sort of better option, like you said, like that you're going to pull somebody up and put him into high leverage situations that you're going to feel so much better about than Chapman. You might as well have him there. All of a sudden you throw him against a lefty in the sixth inning and he looks great. And you're like, wow, why were we thinking about getting rid of this guy? Like he has a chance to be a very, very impactful player for the Yankees in the postseason. So I'm with you. That's a little crazy to me. And just to reiterate what you were talking about with the offense coming around in the last 15 days, they have 4 players here, Drew, over a 1,000 OPS. 4 players. That's really freaking good. That means a lot of people are clicking on all cylinders here. Hicks has only played 8 games in that stretch, but still, the fact
who are the other 2 players besides Gleyber and Judge?
Oswaldo Cabrera,
who he's been a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah, 14 hits in the last 12 games, just doing really well. He's struck out 11 times, but all good. He's stolen a couple bags. He's hitting 341 in those last 15 days. It's something that you needed desperately, and we talked about it when the young guys Peraza and Cabrera came up, that they were bringing some sort of just energetic spark, even if it wasn't particular statistical improvements at the time. Well, now it is statistical improvements, and Cabrera is a real player in this lineup, and looking at him into the playoff rotation or into the lineup there, it's a nice little piece to have to mess around with.
Especially given the fact that Benintendi won't be back until at least the ALCS, and same with Carpenter. So, Carpenter might be able to. They said they might be able to make it back for the last series of the year, but again, are 9 at bats enough for you to feel comfortable giving him a starting spot in the postseason? I'm not sure. So Cabrera has been very much a godsend, and he's be able to, handle the outfield, handle left field in Yankee Stadium, a lot better than I expected him to. So, props on him on putting himself in a great position to be not only a big part of this team now, but maybe he's the starting left fielder come 2023. Well, who knows?
Yeah, and that's pretty much wraps it up on the Yankees. Any other thoughts on the Yanks before we move to the Mets real quick?
No, let's talk about the Mets.
So let's talk about those Metsies then, Drew. And it's been flying under the radar in some fans' eyes just because of so much going on. Even Mets fans are paying attention to the Judge stuff. Obviously, it's just a baseball moment in time. Football started up. All that stuff's going on. Mets still playing solid baseball, won 7 out of 10, and you can't really complain about that. They currently, on this off night of Thursday, have a 1-game lead on the Braves, and tomorrow starts the 3-game set at Atlanta, which so many people are pegging as the season, right? Which this is going to make or break the Mets actually winning the division. Absolutely huge that they have the 1 game up to start off this series, and absolutely huge that they have the Nationals for a 3-game set after the Braves to close out the season. Right now, to start this series, they have DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett set up on the hump to go against Max Fried, Wright, and Charlie Morton. So it's going to be a doozy of a series, probably the most exciting series a regular season could ask for. So what is your take right now on the Mets playing good baseball, but not able to fully pull away from the Braves, who are also just playing at a fantastic pace?
Well, if you look at the best records since I think August, I think like the Mets are top 3, but I think the Braves are like a game ahead of them since the beginning of August. But I really like the Mets' decision to move up DeGrom to the Friday night start because obviously with the hurricane coming in, who knows if Saturday and Sunday is going to be able to be played. So you might as well make sure that your ace of aces is out there on the mound and able to contribute. So. Yeah, this is exactly what you want. Maybe not exactly what you want as a Met fan, but I feel like as a baseball fan, I feel like that this is as exciting as a non-postseason series gets. So I'm super excited for it. I'm sure Mets fans want to throw up at the moment, but it's good to be in it. It's good. It's better this than what the Mets were doing at this time last year. So I think you should take the wins as where you can get them.
That's exactly what I've been telling myself going into this series. I mean, you have a team with 97 wins with 6 games remaining on the schedule. No team in the league outside of probably the Dodgers would be disappointed with that, right? Like if the Dodgers, they're already at 100, they're out here, they're doing their thing. It is what it is. Every other team in the league would be happy to end the season with 97 wins. Right now, the Mets are there. They did their job for this entire season. You can go back to 40 different games where they coulda, shoulda, did this or coulda, shoulda done that. It doesn't matter. They've been playing awesome baseball the entire season, and they're still playing good baseball, even if it doesn't feel great night in, night out, which is something we talked about recently, or maybe I covered it with Pat a couple weeks ago, where it's night to night. We talk about in the NFL, oh, what a difference a week makes. With the Mets, it's what a difference a day makes. They play good one game, they're back, they're going to win the division. They lose the next game, and the Braves win. It's like, oh my God, this team's offense is a disaster. Can't trust them. They can't score, right? And that's how quick it's been for the Mets. But it's so important to remember that this season's a huge success to this point already because of 97. They can easily get to 100 wins here and still not win the division. Like, it's insane. That can happen. They can lose 2 to the Braves, win 1, get to 98, go 2 out of 3 from Washington, and then all of a sudden – the Braves sweep their final series and they lose the division and they have 100 wins. It happens. It's baseball, and they're in a really good division. So you can't beat yourself up too much. But now
they're one of the best teams. They're one of the best teams in baseball.
Right.
Hard stop. They're one of the best teams in baseball. So, the Braves are also one of the best teams in baseball. And I will say that I think you definitely want to win obvious statement alert, but you definitely want to win the division. Just, obviously just to put that statement down that, show the Braves that you're not messing around, but also, excuse me, that that team, that wild card team is going to be in the bracket with the Dodgers. Whoever doesn't win this division will have to win the wild card and then play the Dodgers in the ALDS. So you want to stave off playing the Dodgers as long as humanly possible and see if some other team can get lucky and possibly knock them out. You don't want to play the Dodgers in the ALDS. So I think it's extra important for the Mets to hold on and win the series. And they put their 3 best pitchers on the mound. That's exactly the position you want to be in going into the series, having you're putting your best chips on the board, and let's see what happens. So I'm very excited to tune in this weekend. So I'll definitely be watching the Mets more than I'll be watching the Yankees, especially if Judge gets 62. So once he gets 62, there's not he's not getting to 70 or 73, so it doesn't really matter at that point.
Right. And just to go through some of the stuff for the Mets here over the past 15 days, Lindor's been on a heater, 18 hits in the last 12 games. Pete Alonso, 5 home runs in the last 15 games. And Daniel Vogelbach, who hasn't played every day, but is hitting the ball really well when he is in the lineup. And he's just been what a great addition for them at the deadline and how he's been stabilizing that position of designated hitter when he's out there. He's been really good. Escobar also coming around, obviously the team on his back for that win against the Marlins 2 nights ago. What an amazing performance by him, and a win that would have, or I should say a loss that would have really crushed the spirits of fans. I was actually recording a podcast during that game, so I wasn't watching, but then I checked Twitter afterwards, and when you go on Twitter on your phone, it doesn't give you the timeline order unless you select it. So I'm seeing top tweets and I'm seeing everyone crush the Mets. Wow, this team is lifeless. What a terrible loss this is going to be. This is pathetic. Like, how can you go down like this against the Marlins? And then all of a sudden, Escobar hits a home run, gets an RBI, hits the walk-off RBI, and it's all of a sudden now a great, gritty win for the Mets, and they're back on top of the division by 1 game. So vibes are okay. Vibes are good. Buck Showalter has this team locked in, going in the right direction. It's something we've said all year about Buck Showalter, and it hasn't changed. So I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling like relatively confident. I don't want to say I'm expecting the Mets to go in and dominate the Braves, because the Braves are really freaking good, as you explained. So it's reason to be confident enough, but reason enough to be weary a little bit too, and just see how this plays out. But what a season so far with the Mets.
Yeah, as long as Darren Ruff's not in the lineup, I feel like you got to feel pretty good. He's been god awful.
He's been rough.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Good night, everybody.
I didn't mean that. I didn't. Should I not?
Hey, dude, I'm the one with the dad jokes. I'm the father here, and you're busting out dad jokes left and right, sir.
It's what I do. When a pun, the worst pun or the best pun, arrive in my mind, it must be stated out loud. It's something that I cannot control. I blame probably ADHD. I think I don't know what to blame it, but that's what I'm going with here. So that's it. You got any other notes though for Mets, Yankees, or baseball in general before we say goodbye?
No, that just, again, like I said before, just if you're trying to poo-poo the whole Judge thing, just stop what you're doing. Enjoy history. And again, we didn't even talk about Albert Pujols getting 700 home runs himself, and that's an incredible season he had, and the swan song he had after looking just cooked the last 7 years with the Angels. Comes back to St. Louis. He's just like, F it, I'm gonna turn it back to 2005 and got to 700. So that's an incredible achievement on its own. So just a special overall season for baseball fans. And it's if everyone wants to say baseball's dying, but I think this has been one of the best seasons in my lifetime. So I'm very happy and very fortunate to be able to witness it.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, Drew, thank you so much. We'll talk baseball, obviously, when the season starts to wrap up, and we'll preview the playoffs for the Mets and the Yankees. And I cannot freaking wait for some October baseball where I get to be fully involved as a Mets fan and not just watch as a salty guy, kind of rooting for your Yankees, kind of not, but kind of am, but kind of not. So now I got my own team to worry about. I don't have to stress myself out about hoping the Yankees win for New York and excitement and hoping they lose so you guys can all shut up and stop crying or keep crying. I don't know, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. All right, Drew. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
See ya.